Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Committed Critics, a pop culture podcast where we're not only committed to our opinions, but also each other. Aww. I'm Kevin Lau.
I'm Ryan Davis.
I'm Zach Wright.
And I'm Jordan Wright.
That's weird.
And
You're telling me.
That's a surprise for the audience right there. What a twist. I'll let you figure out what happened.
Put two and two together, audience.
But today we're talking about American Vandal, a show that Jordan Wright challenged us to watch. Jordan, do you want to give us a little bit of a background and synopsis on American Vandal?
I could try. So American Vandal is a Netflix original that came out in, what was it, 2017, 2018? Around that time?
It was 2017.
2017. Okay, I watched in 2018. That's why I wasn't sure. It is a mockumentary series that kind of parodies off of different true crime docs. So they're using it. It's all about these two high schoolers that end up making a bunch of this documentary about a crime that happens at their school. And then in season 2, they actually go to a different school to cover one of those crimes. So that's kind of really what it's about without giving too much away. But it's really good.
Who drew the dicks?
There we go.
I can say that now. We are well past the first minute. But yeah, so to kick us off, let's go over our overall thoughts on the show. Jordan, do you want to give us your overall thoughts?
Sure.
Spoiler free.
Sure. So the first time I watched this, like I just said, was in 2018, and I really liked it then, and I still really like it today. I love mockumentaries, and just kind of the way that this one has more of a serious style while still delivering the comedic aspect you typically see in a mockumentary, I think is a really good balance. The thing I didn't like, we'll get into later. But overall, yeah, I still really like this.
Suspense.
One of the better Netflix originals, if I do say so.
Because it's an older one.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why Netflix canceled it.
Yeah.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, like I just said, it's definitely an older Netflix original with how creative it is and like how, like I will go in more depth later with what I liked about it, but it's like how creative and how it's used to create like this historical fiction of something that didn't actually happen at a school. I think is really clever and a clever way of creating a piece of content. Usually mockumentaries don't really do anything for me like this, but with how in depth and how it used the elements that it did use in this show, I did like a lot, and I think it worked here a lot. The comedy is very much in your face and on the nose. It's very much like blatant. I'm like, all right, I get what we're doing here. And like the story itself could have been a little bit tighter, a little bit stronger. Besides that, pretty good.
Fair enough. And what about you, Ryan? What are your thoughts?
I'm gonna let you go first because I'm gonna be the dissenting opinion here.
Okay. I can tell.
I can
tell. For me personally, I think this is a really great mockumentary that parodies true crime docs. Notably, Netflix's Making a Murderer, which I'm surprised Netflix picked up this show after, like a couple years after releasing Making a Murderer. But this American Vandal also tells an engrossing story infused with great character-driven humor. I watched it back when it first came out in it was like September 2017, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I never had a chance to rewatch it or watch season 2. But hopefully we'll get back to watching season 2 after I finish Tears of the Kingdom sometime this week. Ryan.
Knock it out of the park.
I'm sorry, it lost me as soon as the main plot was.
What a home run opinion!
I'm sorry. Hold on, I'm gonna send you something on the Committed Critics chat because I made this after watching it, and I was like, I'm gonna send this to you. Just look at what it says.
Okay. On because the Facebook chat or the Discord chat?
The Facebook chat.
Okay.
Oh, all right, I gotta pull it up.
I was looking at the wrong one.
Nope, I got my phone faster.
Because I made it on Snapchat, and I was like, "This is my opinion."
Oh no! It's Thanos looking at Bridgerton, saying, "Perhaps I treated you too harshly."
Jordan,
the caption at the bottom is me after watching American Vandal.
It's the Thanos meme from Endgame when he's talking to Nebula. Maybe perhaps I treated you too harshly.
I was like, man, we should have watched Bridgerton season 2. I should have.
Could have watched Queen Charlotte, Ryan.
I was this show was hard for me to watch. I have a love-hate relationship with true crime docs, because I like mysteries and everything. So I was like, all right, but it's the juvenile humor. It's just like everything. It just goes on and on.
You didn't enjoy hearing the phrase "did the dicks"?
No.
Ball hairs, Ryan. All the ball hairs.
Like the first episode, I had to turn off. I was like,
Kevin's giggle.
The animation of the hand job on the dock.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
Pretty great for a high schooler.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I know.
Their blender res. Wow.
Here's the thing: for high schoolers, I was like, "Oh, this is good. This is good." Filmmaking. But in terms of an actual show I was watching, I was like, "Yeah, this is hurting my soul." I will say towards the end, it got better as the mystery unfolded, and like they slowly revealed who the Vandal was, but it was still hard because in between the good mystery moments, there was still a terrible like joke, and I was just like, guys, can we please wrap this up? Please.
Ryan.
Yes.
Well, go ahead, Jordan.
Do you want to know what season 2 is about?
Oh, I looked it up. And that's why I was. My final thought on this is that I can't believe this show got a season 2 because
isn't it like shitting in people's socks or some shit?
It's an entire student body shits itself.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, I'm glad we didn't watch season 2 because I'm like this was already rough enough. Ugh. Jordan,
all right,
let's watch it.
Well, let's go into what's one thing you liked about it.
The one thing I liked about it?
Yeah, what's one thing you liked about it, Ryan?
The mystery aspect. I think I'm the only one who likes the mystery aspect of it. Maybe, I don't know, but
oh no, I agree with you. I love the mystery aspect of it.
Yeah, it kept you guessing. It kept introducing new suspects, motives, problem solving. I was like, okay, this is interesting how they're slowly figuring it out, like how they're doing, like how they're uncovering different things. I especially like how they, I'm sorry, the real story here should be taking down the teachers, because I'm sorry, some of these teachers had some messed up stories. And I was like, and I'm like, why are we not targeting the teachers?
I did not just call my student hot.
Exactly, like him, and then also.
Well, I mean, he did get fired.
Like, all these people are the actual like story here, but instead we're focusing on the cars, the stupid cars with the stupid dicks.
That's because someone got falsely accused. That's the story.
That's the main point.
You're just like the rest of them, Ryan. You're just writing off Dylan. He is.
Oh my God.
He is such a a deadbeat, but he did not do the dicks. Okay.
Here's the thing. I was invested in learning, like, seeing, like, how Dylan, like, if he was innocent or not. I was invested in that. I was just not invested in seeing all the different pranks over and over and over again. And then also, like, the mystery solving is like, oh, did Alex get jerked off or not? Or who has the hotline list? And I was like, this is just absolutely.
Well, Ryan,
terrible.
did you watch it all in one sitting or did you break it up?
I had to break it up. I had to.
Well, no, well, I mean, like, you were saying, like, oh, you're tired of watching the same thing over and over again. It's like, well, it was shot and edited to be a weekly series.
Yeah.
But then it got picked up by Netflix, so then they decided to put all the episodes out at once. I mean, I think it kind of works as both a binge and a weekly, but like I feel like it works better when you watch it broken up.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of see that. Yeah. I don't know. It's like I don't know. If it doesn't hook you in the first episode, then it's not gonna hook you. I couldn't see people watching it beyond that.
Oh, definitely. Like if it's not your thing by episode 1, it's like, yeah, well,
yeah,
you might not like the rest of it.
Yeah. I do kind of wish they gave you the actual answer at the end instead of kind of leaving it open with no consequences. But I get the lesson was not everyone is who they seem, and some people are exactly how they seem. It's kind of like
the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, it's like they definitely just like they were like, we're gonna leave it open and you make your own conclusion. I was like, all right, I get it, but
I mean, I think they came to a pretty solid conclusion of who drew all the who drew the graffiti, if you will.
Oh, my microphone.
Oh,
it just fell.
I knocked it over. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, oh, my microphone. I was like, well, that's an interesting part
Whoop!
of the
I
show.
left the lens cap on.
Thanks for
right.
right there.
Well, I'll give my one
Sure.
thing I liked. I love the hyper serious visual style juxtaposed with the hyper silly story, all while showing how much the creators of the show love mystery stories, as they had that structure down to a T.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who reads like mystery novels, I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is how you do it.
This is peak.
It really is up there with some of the best irreverent genre mashups, such as Fargo and Brick, which are both Fargo and Brick are also like hyper serious visual styles, combined with like pretty silly stories and performances.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that about Fargo.
Have you-
That makes sense now. Like Chris Rock is in it.
Okay, so I've only seen a little bit of the show, but the original movie is like it's shot and directed like a thriller, but performed like a comedy.
And I did not know that. I straight up thought it was a serious show.
No,
Okay,
I recommend checking out the movie. And the first season of the show basically is like adapts the movie into show form, but then seasons 2 onward are original stories in the same universe.
Now that
Nice.
so I'm looking at the Wikipedia, and now that I see like the people who are in the show, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, this is definitely a comedy.
Yeah,
Now that I'm seeing the actual actors in it, I'm like, oh, I thought Chris Rock just came in for no reason and he trying to do a serious role. Now it makes sense.
no, I mean I didn't get to meet Chris Rock, but I did some work on season 4.
Ooh.
Shut the fuck up, Jordan.
Oh, what did Jordan
Look at
say?
Look at her
the
chat and just Discord.
What?
Oh man.
Wait,
In
what?
All right.
Discord, in the Community Critics text chat, Jordan has written, Kevin, would you say that American Vandal is the climax?
No, that's episode 7.
Oh,
Ugh.
We're not there yet.
good one.
Ryan, did you just not go through an immature phase in high school?
I know.
He's still there. I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I just like those. I mean, here's the thing. There's an
Shots
immature
fired.
phase, but then the jokes like these are just like they're not my type of jokes.
You don't love a
I
good
know.
dick joke?
No, I don't. I really don't.
No, they're hard for Ryan.
They go on for too long.
Here's the thing. I can do one or two. Like I can deal with one or two, but when it's just a constant, never-ending cycle,
Just
I
getting
was
hit in the
like,
head.
Take that out of context. Take that out of context. He can take 1 or 2.
oh, God.
Let's just say a constant cycle. Welcome to being a woman.
Take that out of context. Take that out of context. All right, moving on. What I liked. I liked how serious it took itself in the sense of being played as a bit. Like Kevin said, being juxtaposed next to something so silly and so goofy as someone who drew dicks on cars. My overall thoughts, I appreciate how well it was done in the style to be perceived as real. Like even the opening credits, like it was all the characters' names. It was like directed by like the main
Peter Maldonado.
Peter Maldonado, and like that. I thought that was really a nice little touch. Acting and cast did a great job at what they were given to do.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree. I would agree with Zach. I like how real it feels. Like, yeah, the crime is funny and some of the analysis is also great. But the way the opening credits actually say it's created by the characters in the series and how the students actually start watching it in the documentary, I thought was cool. And it made me feel like this was a real school with real students and a real crime. I think, too, when I originally first started watching it, I think I Googled it. Like, did these kids
this
actually
real?
make?
Question
Yeah, I was
mark?
like, did these kids actually make this? Like, I figured the story was fake, but I was like, are Peter Maldonado, like, is he an actual person? And so that's just
Is
like,
Dex from Austin and Alley really part of the
when I saw
actual-
Des, I was like, okay, I know
Or
it's
Des, yeah.
fake now, but I was just like, maybe
Here's
they
the
just
thing.
used their names and became a character in this. I wasn't sure.
I would have known. Like the joke when I was like, I think we would have heard if someone had drawn a bunch of like Richards on cars.
Richards.
I think we would have heard about that.
Des from Austin Alley was in it, and then the girl from Dog with a Blog was in it.
Oh, I also
G. Hernelius.
the guy who plays as Lucas Wiley, he's in the College Humor's Dungeons and Dragons show. He was the only other actor I recognize.
And then
Dylan is from 22 Jump Street.
the long-haired kid
Oh,
part of Dylan's posse. He's been in Booksmart
And Stranger Things.
and Stranger Things.
That was the other thing. When you brought my least favorite character from Stranger Things into this show, and I was already
You don't like that
okay.
guy in Stranger Things?
I
Oh,
hate
he's
Argyle.
awesome.
I
hate
love
so
Argyle.
much. I was like, he was the one person in Stranger Things season 4 that I was like, I can't
Let's get a
deal with
pizza.
this. I was like, you're ruining Jonathan right now. You're hurting me.
I know who
Yeah.
you're talking about. I just haven't gotten to that season yet.
Dylan is one of the main guys in 22 Jump Street, like they're going after, who thinks are the
Yeah,
like dealers.
I remember that.
Oh,
Him
I
and
forgot.
Kurt Russell's son, Wyatt Russell.
Right in the crack.
Thanks, Jordan.
Well, the more you know. So yeah, I believe that rounds out everything we liked about the show, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about one thing we didn't like, or in Ryan's case, multiple things. And we'll see you in a bit. Bye.
Hey everybody, my name is Jordan, and you've probably heard me on an episode or two, but did you know I also have a baking channel? Bluebell Bake is by the amateur baker for the amateur baker. On the channel, I'll be posting recipes, tips and tricks, and more so we can all learn to better our baking skills. You can find my channel on YouTube at Bluebell Bake, we're currently posting monthly, or on Instagram and TikTok, both at bluebell.bake. Come join our little community where no matter what happens, we keep on baking.
Don't you wish there was a pop culture review site that appealed to cinephiles, both professional and casual? Well, look no further than crprights.com. New content such as movie and TV reviews, film essays, and more are released every week by writers who crave for movies like every moviegoer craves for popcorn. CRP Rights is dedicated to making sure no one is wasting time or money where they shouldn't be. After all, you have to be able to buy your popcorn and eat it too. crprights.com. Casual reviews with purpose since 2018.
Kevin, I'm ready for you to go in.
All right.
I consent.
I'm ready for you to slide it in.
And welcome back to Committee Critics as we continue to talk about American Vandal. Specifically now, one thing we did not like. Ryan, do you want to kick us off?
So, like I said, the actual crime and the comedy, quote unquote comedy, were the hardest parts to get through. There were points where I legitimately.
The hardest, huh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
From my angle, sorry, Ryan. Jordan just went, and I just started losing it.
Yes, it was the most difficult, painful parts to get through. If you want to add more to it, yeah, I legitimately had to turn off the show at some points because I was like, I just can't like.
He just couldn't take it.
Mm-hmm. It was too big.
Too big.
I'm crying.
Look, I'm here with my family, and I'm just having this show on, and I'm just like, I can't reasonably watch this.
Ryan, it's okay. I tried to watch it on the plane.
Yeah, Jordan tried to watch this in public, guys. Jordan was on a fucking flight and starts pulls us out, and like she texts me,
Pull it out.
I probably shouldn't watch American Vandal on the plane. I said, yeah, you should not. Like it's just penises everywhere, Jordan. I don't know what you were thinking.
I saw the animation of the jerk off and I was like, oh, there's kids on this plane.
Jordan, I'll just say that there is some anime that I would rather watch in public than watch this.
Fair enough.
Sorry, Ryan, you
Yeah.
can continue.
Like I said, one or two jokes I can handle. I can deal with that. If they did one or two jokes, if they stuck with it, but it's the whole show. It's just it's a constant. When they got to the prank videos, that's where I was like, all right, you're farting on babies.
Baby
This
fart.
is- that's where I was.
I
just
don't know,
like,
man. Baby fart's pretty good.
That's fucking funny.
The nun
That's what I-
humping.
That one's not as great.
No, baby farting was pretty
That's
good.
good.
I turned it off. I was like, I can't deal with this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. This is
Ryan, you don't
not-
stand baby farting.
Ugh.
It's a pretty
No.
as a joke created as like a viral prank in the show. Like that's a pretty good one.
That's
Like,
a really good one.
Let's just go back to Bridgerton, guys. Can we switch it to a Bridgerton episode?
Don't have to tell me
Nah.
twice.
I'm against that.
You're gonna see dicks either way.
Yeah, but
No, you don't. You never see a dick. You just see butts
that's the
And
thing.
and the
you never
occasional
see-
I
side
want-
boob.
I want equality.
If I see a pair of titties, I want to see a dick. All right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Zach.
Anyway, Zach, what's one thing you didn't care too much about American Vandal?
I wish the whodunit aspect was handled a little bit better. I understand we used it later for Peter to learn a lesson. Like, hey, maybe you shouldn't expose everyone else's truths. Maybe you should only focus on the truth you're setting out to like find. Because like when the one like the Sarah girl talks with the party, like she's right. Like, why the fuck you put that in there? Like,
Right.
everyone's truth is gonna be out there in the public. So them using the whodunit at the end for him to be like, yeah, it's probably Krista. Spoilers. But I can't definitively say it is because I don't want to like ruin her life. I understand how we got there. I just wish we had done it better earlier so we had a better whodunit. The other thing I didn't write down here was I wish he had more of a reason to like find the truth for Dylan, because like besides him just being like a shitbag, like obviously we don't empathize much for Dylan. I wish there was something
it's
like
more like that Peter's
Like-
reasoning was just that, you know, he wanted to make a documentary proving the innocence of someone. Like it's like
Yeah.
because he knew beforehand, it's like, yeah, this is impossible for Dylan to have done this. It's like, I'm gonna make a documentary to prove his innocence, and then it eventually became an investigation of who actually did it.
Right. No, I wish Dylan had more of. I wish there was a hidden layer to Dylan that was more of like where you like empathize with him.
Oh,
'Cause, like,
okay, I got
For
you.
most of the time, like Dylan's just a shitbag. Like I could care less for this kid goes back to
Mhm.
school or not. Like yeah, it sucks, but like hey, no reputation that precedes you, you know. But yeah, I wish there was more of a like a way for the audience to empathize and be like, oh wait, Dylan actually has a soft spot for his girlfriend or something like that, like something small in there.
Well, he didn't get
Is
into
that-
college.
Right, he didn't get into college, but then he goes and draws more dicks later, and draws an
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
dick. So like
Yeah.
he becomes what Peter was
What we
ended up being
expected.
wrong. Yeah,
And I will say that one thing with the Krista reveal is that, like, I get that the whole lesson that Peter learns is that he doesn't want to ruin people's lives. But at the same time, like, okay, but this girl still technically ruined someone else's life. And I'd be like, nah, I'm exposing you.
yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
nah.
Well,
I liked how
it was
meta it
resolved,
was.
but yeah,
Well, yeah,
I liked
Dylan's
how
a
meta it
terrible
was,
person,
but sometimes the meta got in its own way. That's really it.
fair enough. How about you, Jordan?
So after watching the show again, almost 5 years later, I kind of forgot how ridiculous the crime and the analysis actually is. I remembered the ball hairs. That was like the one thing I remembered, and that Des was in this. And while I feel like it plays a great role in the comedic aspect, it did get to be a little much at times. Don't get me wrong, I love a good dick joke. They're great. But like kind of playing off of what Zach and Ryan said, it got a little bit in the way. Like sometimes it was a little too much, or maybe it's just because I grew up a little bit and so now it's not as funny.
I think it's more of like
Mhm.
when you have a friend that it keeps like telling the same joke or like keeps like beating the same dead horse, the same joke. It's like, all right, we get more
All right, buddy.
creative.
Get some new material.
Yeah, move on. This the time is fleeting for this one.
Yeah. And like I kind of already talked about it but like season 2, like I know I didn't challenge season 2. I almost did because it was under the time limit. But the crime in season 2 is more grotesque in the sense that an entire student body shits itself. Like literally, they're all like pooping everywhere. And it's funny, don't get me wrong, but like at the same time, it can be a little much when you watch.
Fucking fifth grader. He started fucking giggling. Everyone shoots themselves.
Because like you see a bunch of different Snapchat videos of different angles of the crime, and students are like pooping in planters and like in their lockers, and it's just everywhere.
Kevin's fucking dying right now thinking of this.
I can't wait. Yeah, I'm like imagining it in my head. I'm like, man, I can't wait to watch season 2.
I remember seeing like a clip of it of season 2, and I was like, "What the fuck is this show?" And then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, it makes so much more sense now." And it was actually
yeah, and
pretty
then
good.
and then something similar happened in our university. I think like right before
Mhm.
that came out.
Oh yeah, the shitting in the fucking washers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I
I
forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
We
That was-
Kevin, we
Wasn't
messed
that in
up.
the
We
building
should've-
that
we messed
Jordan?
up. We
Was that in
should've
the
made a
building that you
documentary
were
with
staying in?
No, it was Abbott.
was
It
the
was the one
other
next
one.
to me.
Oh, okay.
Was it Abbott?
Yeah,
No,
it
it
was
was-
Abbott.
Is that the name of it?
Yeah, it was Abbott. Yeah.
Is that where
Kevin-
honors kids were?
Well,
Yeah.
some of them were. Like, the main honors building was Smith, and that's where I was. But Abbott was right next to us, and there was like one floor that was honors.
Kevin, we messed up. We should have made a documentary about that.
I know. Trust me, I know.
I
There
would
was
have had to disown you
there,
both.
there were a few things that we could have made a documentary about at our school.
Like the eclipse.
Shut up.
We already had like the whole nation on that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one thing I didn't like about American Vandal season 1 is that I think the pacing slows down a bit too much sometimes. To the point I think that we could have like cut an episode's worth of footage out. Even though it's great that streaming shows don't have time constraints and allegedly they leave creators with a lot of control, reasonable limitations to the right creatives' hands tend to make better products. So if someone was there to tell these creators like, hey, gotta tighten up a bit, make it exactly 30 minutes or between 25 to 30 minutes each episode instead of 35 to 40 minutes, I think we could have had a stronger product at the end of the day.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to final thoughts on American Vandal season 1. My final thought is great show, and me not getting around to watching season 2 makes me part of the reason why it got canceled by Netflix. The other reason Netflix canceled it is because it was really good and made by creators who actually give a shit.
No
Nice.
pun
That's what
intended for season 2.
I was about to say.
No
like, that's
pun
just season two.
intended. All right, how about you, Ryan? What's your final thoughts?
You know what? Just to put me at the end. I want to go out.
All right,
Kevin's
Zach.
so upset. Kevin's so upset. Overall, I enjoyed time with it. The anticipation of when to keep watching to figure out who had me enthralled like a real documentary, which so the show did what it set out to do. I just wish the story itself was a bit tighter. That's it.
Yeah, fair enough. How about you, Jordan?
I'm glad I got the chance to rewatch it, but I can also understand why Netflix canceled it after 2 seasons. Like,
Because it was actually good.
well, yes, that, but like, they went from dicks on cars to an entire student body shitting itself. Like, what could be the next crime?
Uh,
Jizz.
Good question.
Jizz everywhere.
Oh,
it's like,
no.
It's like
oh
from
no.
It's like
That's-
season 1
yeah.
is at 100, and then season 2 is at 1,000.
Well, wouldn't they be going to college in the 3rd season?
That's true.
Get
Oh,
some-
It gets
get
real.
pretty
Just
wild.
it drops the comic part and just goes full crime
season
documentary.
3, The Clowns of 2016.
Oh lord.
Oh boy.
Ryan, what are your final thoughts?
So how this has a season 2 with an even more disgusting plot, I will never understand. But I feel like this is how we got to Death of 2020 and Death of 2021, which are very good Netflix mockumentaries, which everyone should go watch because you also lived through it. So I will accept that I will accept this show as a canon event and will allow it to exist. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't know about Death to 2020, Death to 2021 before reading your notes. I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting. So I added it to my
Those actually made me laugh. Those cracked me up.
I added it to my watch list, so I'll watch them eventually.
It's an hour.
sound pretty good.
guys. It's an hour.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So that's our takes on American Vandal season 1. Some are hotter than others.
Harder than others.
Yeah. But
Longer.
Zach, yeah. Zach, you are choosing the next challenge. What have you got for us?
It's finally happening, everyone. I'm finally doing it.
Oh my
I'm
god!
challenged. Ryan, you're gonna hate me for it. I'm sorry.
We're watching Star Wars: A New Hope.
It's either Cobra Kai or Ted Lasso, one of the two.
Oh,
Oh, hang
Wow.
on, wait. Hang on, wait, whoa, hang on. Wait. No, wait.
Ted Lasso
Okay.
might be too long.
I think Ted Lasso was too long because
Cobra
I
Kai's
also
too
don't
long.
have Apple.
yeah, Ted Lasso's too long.
Well, Ryan, I could give you my my Plex sign in, and you can watch Ted Lasso
You
there.
don't need to do. You don't need to do that.
Oh, hang on, wait. Ted
Wait,
Lasso.
what was the? No, tell me what the challenge is. Tell me what the challenge is. No, don't switch it up now.
First
Tell
10
me.
episodes. Weekly. First season is 10 episodes. If they're hour long.
No, you already had challenge set. Tell me what the challenge was.
I think
Final-
one season Ted Lasso would work.
No. What was the original challenge, Zach? What was the original challenge?
We're doing Ted Lasso season 1, baby. We're doing Ted Lasso season 1, baby.
What was the original challenge? Damn it!
The original challenge was Star Wars Rebels.
I would have. Oh god.
Season 1.
Season 1.
Apparently, Avalon High was also in consideration.
As it
Alright.
should be. Okay.
All right.
Ted Lasso season 1.
Ryan,
Let's go.
I'll be honest, that one's on you, dude. You should open your mouth.
It 100% is on me. I really thought you were going to do Cobra Kai, and I was like, all right.
You spoke to God.
Cobra Kai is too long.
Yeah, Cobra Kai's way too long.
What? The first season isn't?
Is it not? Isn't it like... Oh, maybe it is. Maybe it's fine. First season should be fine.
First season's also pretty rough, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, first season's really rough.
Season 2 is when it picks up.
Yeah.
Ryan is so disheartened.
I get to finally see Ted Lasso and figure out what all the Ted Lasso references are from the people around me. Because people were like, oh, it's like, it's like that character from Ted Lasso. I'm like, I haven't seen it. I don't know what you're talking about.
They're 10 episodes. They're an hour long.
God.
Ryan, also, my suggestion for Zach was going to be the entire first season of Bluey. So
I could do that. I can do that over. I'm sorry. Watching hour-long episodes are like hell for me now.
Here's the thing. Ted Lasso is happy. It starts out like sad, but then it kind of gets you more. It hits you in the feels, makes you feel happy at the end.
yeah, it's wholesome.
It's wholesome.
You underestimate my feelings.
I just want to say for the record, I watched Bluey before it was cool. So
I'm a Kevin denier. I don't believe him.
You say that as if I wasn't recommending you to watch Bluey before it was cool, and you kept denying it.
Guys, I will say this entire episode, I think the lesson here I've learned is that I truly, if I want to make one more dick reference, I truly fucked myself.
You
this
did.
Episode.
You did. Sure did.
Right in the back door. Anyway, speaking of back doors, let's get out of here.
Oh my God.
Take us out.
If you want to hear the rest of our thoughts about other topics, tune into our full episode over on Patreon. Link to that is below in the description. You can follow us on Twitter at CommittedChris, CommittedChris, YouTube Committed Critics, TikTok at Committed Critics. Special thanks to our current patrons, Davey Peppers from Game Mechanics, Ryan Kolakowski from Ryan Plays Drums, Andy Phillips from Andy Phillips, Jody Wright, Devin Vonderhyde, and Brandon Morales. Goodbye. See you in 2 weeks.